All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are diving deep into the stories that Hollywood is whispering about. You know, the ones they won't actually confirm. We're going to break down some of the biggest celebrity blind items making the rounds right now. So, what are the secrets everyone's whispering about behind the velvet rope? Well, we're going to unpack 5 of the most talked about rumors. We're talking everything from a seriously high stakes family drama to some truly expert level shade, and we'll even get into a wild fan theory that makes you question if what you're seeing is, even real. Okay, first up on our list, Northwest. Now, she's only 12 years old, but her life is already under this crazy intense microscope. And a recent blind item has really ignited a massive debate about her very, very public childhood. So this is what got everything started. A blind item popped up claiming that North chose to spend Christmas with her dad, Kanye, not because of some custody arrangement, but because she just didn't want to spend it with her mom, Kim. And that single little claim, it was enough to set off this huge conversation about what's really going on with their family. And look, this isn't just coming out of nowhere. At 12, North is already getting flack for her appearance. People saying she looks 25. She's showing off diamond grills on social media. But the real kicker was when she launched her public Instagram account. I mean, it blew up, gaining almost 400,000 followers in just one day. It's over 1.1 million now. And all of this really boils down to one central question, right? Why does a 12-year-old need Instagram? When you've got that much pressure and this massive platform, is a kid being pushed to grow up way too fast? It's this tough debate between letting a kid express herself and, the very real dangers of getting famous that young. Okay, so we're shifting gears now. We're going from the pressures of fame to, well, maybe someone using fame as a weapon. Our next story is all about a viral moment between 2 huge A-listers that people are calling an absolute masterclass in throwing subtle but brutal shade. Okay, get ready for this one. This is the single line that basically set the internet on fire. While Jennifer Lawrence was interviewing Leonardo DiCaprio, she dropped this little gem. Now, on the surface, it sounds like a compliment about a movie role, right? But, given the context, oh boy, the internet is absolutely convinced it was anything but. And what is that context? Well, of course, it's Leo's dating life. I mean, it's become this long-running joke in Hollywood that he pretty much exclusively dates women under 25. People have literally made charts about it online. And that pattern is exactly why everyone heard her comment and thought, ooh, that was a direct hit. She meant that. And apparently Leo's reaction just poured gasoline on the fire. People watching said he had this flash of terror on his face. So what was it? Just a harmless comment, or was this some professional level trolling? The internet has reached a verdict. Jennifer Lawrence knew exactly what she was doing. All right, next up, we're moving from one very pointed comment to some speculation that just will not die down. This next story is about one of Hollywood's most private couples, Zendaya and Tom Holland, and the rumors that just keeps whirling. So it was just a simple photo, right? Zendaya in a baggy sweatshirt. But that's all it took to get the pregnancy rumors going all over again. For some fans, this was basically confirmation. But for everybody else, it just brought up that same old question. Are we looking at actual proof here? Or is it just a woman wearing a comfy outfit? And honestly, it's the same pattern every single time. A new photo drops, and the speculation just starts right back up. And the so-called evidence, it's always the same stuff. She's wearing a coat, or she's holding a bag in front of her stomach. She's holding a pillow, wearing baggy clothes. The level of scrutiny is just, it's relentless. Ultimately, this has really sparked a much bigger conversation about privacy. So many people are basically saying, hey, whether or not Zendaya is pregnant, it is absolutely none of our business. And the message is really simple. Can we please stop this obsessive focus on women's bodies and just let people live their lives? Okay, let's turn to the biggest tour on the entire planet. While Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is just dominating the world, her life offstage has been a total whirlwind. We're talking personal drama, breakups, and a very, very public new beginning. And that brings us to a new blind item that suggests a complete 180 for her ex, Joe Alwyn. He was always famous for being intensely private, right? Well, the rumor now is that he's the one calling the paparazzi on himself, actively seeking out the same attention he always seemed to hate. And Taylor herself basically confirmed how tough things have been. In her docuseries, she said, and I'm quoting here, "My personal life was hard. I went through 2 breakups on the first half of this tour. Men will let you down. The Eras Tour never will.
I mean, wow. That's a rare look behind the curtain of her normally super curated public life.
And when you put the two relationships side by side, the contrast is pretty stark. Reports claimed Joe Alwyn really struggled with her insane schedule and was all about privacy. Travis Kelce, though, he's described as having a big life of his own, so he gets her job, and he's constantly and very publicly supporting her. I mean, the two approaches could not be more different.
And for our last story, we are heading straight into the world of high-tech conspiracy theories. The super reclusive Rob Kardashian has supposedly signaled he's coming back to reality TV, but some fans are convinced that what they're seeing, or even hearing, isn't real at all.
Okay, so here's the official version of events, the one we saw on the show. In the season finale, Chloe's on the phone with Rob, and we hear his voice say he's down to start filming again. The whole family celebrates. So for all intents and purposes, Rob is back. Case closed, right? Well, not so fast. Almost immediately, a totally different theory started bubbling up online, a theory that questions the very reality of what we were shown. The idea is that the family is actually using technology to create the illusion of Rob's presence.
So you've got these two totally competing stories. On one hand, the official line, Rob is reclusive, but he's ready for a comeback. And on the other hand, the fan theory, Rob isn't actually there at all, and his voice, maybe even his image, is being faked with AI. And viewers are pointing to what they call visual glitches as their proof. This whole theory is really getting fueled by comments like this one, where a viewer is just convinced, saying, yeah, baby, that's an AI. You can see the glitch shadow around his face. So they're not seeing a lighting issue. They're seeing a flaw in an AI rendering. And look, this isn't just some one-off suspicion. People who believe this theory are pointing to other moments in the show, like a scene where Chloe's necklace seems to just morph mid-sentence. It's moments like that that have made them super skeptical and basically trained them to hunt for any signs of digital manipulation. And that leads us to our final and honestly kind of spooky question. This whole theory about Rob Kardashian might sound a little out there, sure, but it taps into a much bigger, more unsettling feeling, doesn't it? As technology gets more and more advanced, how are we ever going to be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's a perfect fake? It's definitely something to think about.